The Sciforror Film Podcast. On to day 3, and again, the films I didn't get to see. The first was A Cat in the Brain, which is a classic film. Cat People, another classic film. The Tenant, a classic film. The Busby and Me, a new independent documentary. Wild Palms, which is a classic TV series. Zombie Flesh Eaters, a classic film. Repeat of Sweeney Todd the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, a classic film. Repeat of All This Time, which is a new indie. Repeat of Threads, the classic TV film. First Bite is the Deepest, which was a new indie film. And then they repeated the short film showcase from day 1, which was the one I'd seen. They also had The House by the Cemetery, which is a classic film. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, again a classic film. Man Bites Dog, another classic film. Razorblade Smile, classic film. Don't Torture a Duckling, which is a classic film. Halloween Tales, which is a new indie film. And repeat of Metropolis, which is a classic film. Torture Day, which is a new indie film. The Reign of Queen Gennara, which was a world premiere of a new indie film. Angst, which is a classic film. Welcome to Kitty Town, which was a new indie film. And Simon Says, which was a new indie film. So the films I did see, again, I started with shorts, and I watched Inferis, which is a thing about a night watchman. It was a short film. It looked good, but it didn't really do much for me. Then there was a film called Polymorphia, which had some very interesting camera effects. It's like a therapy doctor, the man in bandages. The doctor doesn't seem to care. It had a very odd ending. It's kind of was about self-image, and it was really good because it was a really different sort of film. I really liked that. Then Insomnium, some friends hiking in bad weather. There's some good camera work, some good look. There's a strange object in the woods, like a sort of totem thing. The guy starts having visions. It's a bit long, but it's not a bad film. Then Maureen, which was a self-tape monologue, basically, about a gay guy and his relationship. It didn't really do anything for me, I've got to say. Then there was Skulk. There's people alone, somebody alone in the house. There's some strange noises, and then they see someone outside watching them, and there's voices. And so it's a good film. It worked quite well. Then Finger Food. This was odd. It starts off with photos of a cupboard with blood running down it. It's a house share, and there's a strange guy, and one of the guys sharing the house sees a finger in the fridge. Some of this is black and white, and they sit down for this meal. These two guys who are sharing the house sit down for this meal, and I couldn't work out if the meat the guy was eating was supposed to be human or not. It was pretty good. It was not great, but pretty good. Then there was Trapped. This was a film about lockdown and about abuse during lockdown. It's about dad and a daughter, and I couldn't work out whether she was remembering abuse that he'd done before, or if the abuse was taking place there and then. It is a slightly disturbing watch and a slightly hard film to watch if you've ever suffered anything like that, but it was very good. Then there's Breakfast, which is another one that I think I've seen before. It's about a guy's morning routine and about he seems to be being haunted or possessed at different times. It's well acted. It's quite amusing in some places. It works really well. Okay. The next film was a feature film. It was The Wrath of Thorn. Begins with black and white, very gothic satanic ritual, a good thing. This is about this is a film about a character that has been in a few other films, like slasher house films, which was there was one in last year's thing. It's well made, well acted. There's some good action scenes, good story. It's a little bit slow in places, but all in all, it's a pretty good film. I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite a good, decent new um, indie film that was kind of works well. The next film is was an anthology film called Horoscopes, Volume 3, Dark Zodiac. So we went started off with Aries, it's a thing about vaccination, vaccines, self-tape. It's quite funny, quite good. Then Taurus, which was about remembered child abuse, a stressed out mum that kills the baby. Uh, then Gemini, which was about boyfriend and girlfriend who were joggers. Um, uh, jealous girlfriend, jealous girlfriend, not really into his family, who kind of seems to be abusing him, which is quite interesting. Then there was Cancer, which was it's about a woman in an apartment. There's a beetle that she tries to get rid of, and every time she attacks the beetle, she hurts herself. And there's Leo, is a woman. Yeah, it starts off with a woman on an urn scattering ashes. Uh, then there's a lawyer with a will, and she ends up. This woman ends up trapping the lawyer in a web and feeds off him and gets younger. And there was Virgo, which is an ancient talisman. A woman gets kind of zapped by it. Um, and then, uh, yeah, there's the man in a photo studio. There's a female who is she comes out of the talisman. She's like a siren. It's a bit odd, but it's interesting. Then there's Libra, which is there's a woman, a couple who try to watch TV, and there's loud music next door from a band. They do a kind of ritual, satanic almost ritual to get success, which ends up causing a an outbreak of cannibalism. Um, then there's Scorpio, which is it's about drugs and uh, abusing women, and the sound on that was a bit low, but it was okay. Sagittarius, which was about I don't really know what it's about. People seem to be driving through small towns on holiday. They went to Niagara Falls, and I have no idea really, other than that. Capricorn was about a hiker in Ireland who finds out about this ancient Irish goddess who's calling to the hiker, and the hiker seems a bit mad. Aquarius, this is the one I thought this was really good. There's a woman running from something, hiding in shadows. She's hearing strange voices, and there's a strange creature, and it's like a demon, and a man finds her, but then the demon attacks him through her, which was quite well done. And then Pisces, which is a young woman trying to phone somebody, uh, phones another friend about tarot cards that get sent to her, and she does the cards, sees odd visions and hears voices, and then she gets taken over and ends up sending the cards on to another friend, which is okay. So on the whole, that whole anthology film was pretty good. I then took a bit of a break from reviewing things, and I went to see The Shuttered Room, which was is a classic film, and um, it is well worth watching if you've never seen it. It's uh, it's got Gig Young and Oliver Reed in it, and it's based on a story by August Derleth and H.P. Lovecraft. And it's just a very interesting and very well made film. I really like it. I've always liked that film. So I saw it years and years ago, and it was just nice to sit and watch that, something different. Then I watched some more late night shorts, and I started off with The Domestication of Vampires in Essex. Now, this starts off in what looks like it could be a nail bar or some kind of sex club, strip club. And you get some very Essex girls get out of a cab, and it's actually one of their houses, and they find this goth girl sitting outside. And they take her into the house, and she turns out to be a vampire. It's a good, fun film, and it works really well. It is really quite funny. Then the next film was called The Dead of Winter. Um, this guy goes into an alleyway and sees somebody laying in the alley. Um, the guy asks for help, and this guy ignores him and goes home. So he sees himself, or he sees the alleyway on the TV, and he's haunted by the man from the alley. And then he goes outside because he thinks he sees him out there, and ends up dying outside in the garden. Quite good. Then there was a film called Cul-de-sac. People moving into a new house, and it's a very strange, weird neighbours. The neighbours are giving them these weird brownies that give them super energy. And the neighbours are really odd, and the brownies are made from something like you really have to see the film. That well, what it was made from, I was really not expecting, but it works well. It's quite funny. Um, the next one was called One Cut of the Living Dead. And it starts with a sex scene, and the guy sees zombies. Then they disappear, and he had more sex, and then you see zombies again, and that happens two or three times. And then the zombie joins in having sex with them, and then for some bizarre reason, this old witch turns up watching them, and they're all doing it together. And it is just a very, very strange Japanese short film. Well, that was the end of day three. So, The Sciforror Film Podcast.